Hello everyone. So today I have with me Naman Shah, who has cleared his CFA level 1 with 1840 out of 1900. I guess that puts you in the top 3 to 5% globally, Naman, and excellent managing that with your CA final, which is still due. So many congratulations to you. And uh, so uh, tell me, how does it feel now to get such a splendid score and clear CFA at the first go in your level 1?
Thank you so much, sir. I mean, it feels overwhelming. Like, I expected to pass the exam, but this score, I mean, it's really nice. I feel very happy.
Okay. And in terms of, so you're still completing your CA. When is your CA final attempt?
May 26th.
Okay. So run us through, let us say if I'm a student who is also doing CA and also planning to do CFA before. So how did you manage your CFA? Did you take, I mean, how many hours did you take, lectures, etc.? So if you can guide the student.
So, like, my articleship got over in August 25,
Okay.
and from there, I started at around 6th or 7th October. My exam was on 18th November. And from 6th October, I put in like the whole day for CFA only. And so you can also plan that because till August, like till articleship, mostly your lectures are done, or even if one or two lectures are pending, then that can be done after CFA. So accordingly, you can plan. And so 6th October, say I started and I purchased your lectures firstly. That was like around 120 hours. So 115 hours of core concepts. So firstly, I started from 6th October watching your lectures. Then I did solve the Schweser and firstly like read the Schweser and then solved the Schweser MCQs. Then I went with the LES MCQs at that time only after completing your lectures. So once that was done, the whole portion was done till around 24th or 25th October. Then I took a 5 day break. My FRAFM subjects were not completed. However, valuation of securities and mergers, I think I was done with them. Some revision part of AFM, but rest everything was not done. So then 24th से लेके I started with portfolio management थोड़ा बहुत and till 31st तक I completed portfolio management and a little bit of derivatives. And then from first November, I started with the second revision, and that went on till 14th November or 15th November. And then I gave the two mocks. So in those mocks, I scored around 85 to 89%. थोड़ा बहुत ऊपर नीचे हो रहा था, but 85 to 89%. And that built my confidence that like, I'll solve it. And like in the second revision, I also did the premium practice pack question. So that is very important. Like that will build your confidence. And
Okay.
from that, I started like around after 16, 17, I mean 15, 16, 17, I did the third revision like ऊपर से बस Schweser को run करता था. And LES and premium practice में जो questions I had marked that I did. Then I went for a exam like 18th को
Okay.
था.
So if I were to summarize, you did two revisions, you spent close to a little less than 1.5 months, so around 40, 45 days, and two proper revisions that you did. Uh, and you focused largely on the lectures, Schweser notes, and maybe a couple of mocks in the LES ecosystem. Is that correct? In terms of for a student looking, is that correct?
Yes. So firstly, like go with the lectures and then LES MCQs and then premium practice if you want to do. But other than that, nothing else.
Okay.
Uh,
So tell me, if I am a CS student, is it advisable, forget revision, for me to complete my, let's say, AFM or FR lectures? Is there an overlap, or how much, what would you suggest to a CS student, maybe whose attempt is not as close as yours? You gave an attempt quite close actually. But let's say a student has his CA final maybe a year or two away. So which subjects do you think there is an overlap, or how should they schedule their CA and a CFA?
so I think FR and AFM definitely has an overlap. I mean, AFM, everybody knows that it has an overlap, but FR2 in financial statement analysis, IFRS is completely like in days only, but there is nothing, it's more conceptual and there is no question solving there. So it gives you an edge over, I mean, if you are done with FR. And FR and I think AFM में portfolio derivatives, all these concepts are very important. But CFA is like a little lower level and more conceptual. मतलब portfolio management in AFM, you try to remember the formulas somewhere. But in AFM, it's no formulas. They don't expect you to remember the formulas, and it's more of, okay, what is the concept behind that? What is the lines and graphs and whatever. So if you're a CA student, like firstly complete with your AFM and FR lectures at least, and then if you have the time, then portfolio and valuation of securities. If these two subjects you are done with, then you'll get a lot of overlap in say equity, fixed income, and the I mean portfolio management. Of course, there is a subject in CFA, so उसमें तो overlap होगा. Derivatives भी you can do, so that will be overlap. So and FR में if you are done with some standards like leases and I think share based payment भी थोड़ा बहुत था, 19 भी था थोड़ा बहुत employee benefits. So that will create like an overlap, and that will help you a lot in like CFA also.
Okay, so that's quite helpful. So over here we are going to, so maybe having a prior FRAFM understanding helps, especially when a student is revising portfolio, valuation of securities, to some extent derivatives, is helpful for your CFA preparation, right? But so probably it will help you in your CA as well, because the type of questions are slightly different. Like a CA requires a more of solving, whereas CFA requires more of a concept-based MCQ, right? Uh, so does that help you in understanding your CA concepts also better?
I mean, it is way helpful. Like it's like I just can't stress it enough because the concepts CFA does not focus on formula, so you know the concept and portfolio. Most of the people, my friends who are doing, they say to me, "Okay, I am not finding portfolio interesting, but I find it like I understand the formulas and the concepts, so that it's like there is a lot of overlap and it will give you a lot of conceptual clarity. Maybe mergers type chapters, there is a flow that you need to get into the question. So CFA helps you develop that flow, and that you can use it in AFM per se.
Okay. Also tell me one thing, that for a student who is traditionally being doing, let's say, CA intermediate, CA foundation, I mean, we are used to giving a particular format of an exam, right? We're not used to giving a full MCQ exam, morning, afternoon session. So how do you kind of transition into that?
So I think the exams per se, there is a 4 hour exam. So इतना कुछ नहीं होता है. मतलब it's not very difficult. You can, and they give you a half an hour break also in the break in beginning. So ठीक है, like it's not very problematic. But and MCQ based है, so you try to focus on more on understanding the question and rereading the question. So time का भी there is no issue in CFA L1, तो I did not face any issue के बहुत कम पढ़ रहा है वैसे. So you can read the question and understand, because they try to frame the questions like um, they try to put not, and I mean they
I
don't
know,
use the
least
word not.
likely, most likely, all of that,
Yes.
which is not
So,
least likely. So that is a little tricky. Phrasing of the question is very, very important. I fully agree with that.
so that is a little bit different, and I mean that is true कि CMA we solve the questions, but CFA is more के आपको बस पता होना चाहिए, formulas वगैरह भी ठीक है, it's okay, but understanding the concept, that is most important वैसे.
Okay. So also in terms of hours, if we can kind of rate how, so including lectures, I believe lectures would be around 100 hours. Including
Right.
that, how much is a study time that a student should realistically plan to give the CFA exam properly? Because we don't just want to give it a shot, because it is a very costly course, and secondly, it's a course which requires conceptual understanding. So how many hours did you put in, and did you feel they were less, more apt? If you can guide approximately, including lectures.
So, including lectures, I would say around 400 plus hours, I would say I have put in,
Okay.
maybe a little up and down. But, and I think my preparation from a CA standpoint, because CMA, it is like a, how much ever you do, it's not enough. So, I did not feel कि I'm giving my 100%. CA में तो I anyways don't feel कि I'm giving my 100%. बट सीएफए में भी आई फेल्ट के लाइक ओके ठीक है चलो थोड़ा बहुत और ज्यादा कर सकते थे, बट देन 400 hours is enough. maybe a little bit more, because if you're doing your articleship तो थोड़ा बहुत एक वो रहता है कि articleship भी है साथ में, but yeah, 400 plus hours.
And did the lectures help you in that overall flow? Or did you watch all lectures or only for selected subjects?
No, I watched for all lectures, and lectures were, I mean, they were, it helps you to get into the subject, and it really builds your understanding, because I think you cover all the aspects. So whatever is given in the Schweser and everything is being covered by you. So once that understanding is built, then you read. So it's more like a, ठीक है चलो पता है, and then you are just remembering it, parts of it. So that will help you. So understanding के लिए your lectures were the best वैसे.
Okay. And subjects, if you were to say, out of the 10 subjects, which are the top 4 subjects or 5 subjects, whatever you think, which require the most time of the students, and which are the subjects which happen quite smoothly? You can just quickly run that down.
I think the most difficult subject would be fixed income. I mean, when I started with fixed income, I called somebody up who gave us CFA, and I said, okay, what is this? I was told, okay, this is completely like AFM, but then yeah, fixed income is still I mean, you can handle it. Then second would be ethics, because ethics mein there are I mean, the PDF, that the concept is very small, but the questions are very tricky, and it holds a lot of weightage in your exams also. So you need to make sure that your ethics part is covered properly, and you're doing a lot of the questions. But try focusing on learning ecosystem and these questions only.
Shweser.
That's premium practice back
Okay.
questions if you can. I mean, don't go elsewhere, because that will make, because sometimes they change the questions there and they try to make new questions, but it confuses you. So focusing on LES and premium practice, that they are important. And, yeah.
What about quants actually? A lot of students kind of get
So I
scared,
think
especially that part regarding sampling and hypothesis. Uh, I mean, is that carrying so much weightage, those 2, 3 chapters? Because net quants is manageable if you remove those 2, 3 chapters in the middle, right?
cons is like till sixth chapter, it's completely you feel okay, okay, this is like any other subject. And then seventh chapter comes in, and then eighth chapter comes in, and I've spent one complete day for that eighth chapter, and then I forgot it in the second revision. So I was like, that one day got wasted, but that's okay. But I mean, it's of I mean, you can do it. I mean, CFA Institute also suggests don't leave any subject, and they also do not give any weightage particularly to chapters or any important topics per se. But I would say understanding the formula and understanding what they expect from you, they don't expect you to become a statistician and like learn the formula. They expect you to just understand what is happening, and that normal distribution curve, where is it and how much part of it is here. So that point is more important. So try to understand that. And the questions, if you look at the premium practice pack question, LES questions are, I mean, you should not do for that topic, that subject, in that chapter, sorry. But premium practice pack questions, that is pretty manageable. And mocks also, if you give, you'll probably score in cons, you'll score the highest. So you'll understand ke, theek hai, chalo, cons is manageable वैसे.
There may be 1 or 2 questions which might be a little tricky, but net quants is usually those 2, 3 chapters kind of stand out for the students as well. You can kind of glance through those 2, 3 chapters, but other than that, the other part of quants is much more manageable, right?
Right, exactly.
And tell me, in terms of the level of questions in general, if we can keep it very general, uh, the questions in your LES, some students find it to be quite difficult, and they are in terms of difficulty. So, do the exam questions, without going into the specifics, do they kind of have the same kind of general level of difficulty, or how will you rank the LES questions vis-a-vis the exam questions?
So I think LES questions, some subjects they are pretty manageable, but some subjects they are just out of the box. They are giving you case scenarios and everything. So you also said that it's coming from L2, that case scenarios type of questions. So I mean, you can solve them. You can understand their logic. Then go ahead. If you mean in a chapter, if you say they get 7 questions wrong out of 10 questions, then also it's all right, because that questions level is so difficult. But when you go into premium practice questions, that builds up your confidence, and I think that is also a bit higher level than the mocks exams or the final exam. But still, I think it's proper. It gives you an, I mean, idea of how much which subjects you are lacking in, and which topics that you need to cover up. So that you will be able to gauge from that. And mock exams, I think that is representative of what your exams will be.
Okay.
And when you give your mock exams, you'll understand कि ठीक है चलो I मेरा score इतना आ रहा है, so I know कि
The
yeah
CFA Institute mocks.
yes CFA Institute mocks will say.
Okay. Okay. Fair. And so, I mean, did you have a target that I wanted to? I mean, were you more concept focused or more MCQ focused? Because now in CFA, a lot of kids they have a target. I want to do 2000 MCQs or I want to do, let's say, X thousand MCQs. Did you have an MCQ target or did you more focus on concepts? So MCQs kind of became a byproduct, obviously, with some practice. But is there a number that one should chase?
I personally don't feel so. I mean, whatever resources that you have given, and you're guiding us also in the classroom that this chapter is more difficult, so don't crack your head up with this. So I mean, try to focus on Schweser notes and understand the concepts first. Once you are done with the concepts, then only go to MCQs. And back to the MCQs that you have given, that is sufficient. LES MCQ. And if you want to do premium practice, you'll be able to solve that. So just as a confidence builder. I mean, there's no new concept there, and I would say that any which ways MCQs are not repeating in the exam, so
Mhm.
you try to focus more on the concepts, and that you will be able to get in the exams. So
Okay, okay. Uh, Perfect. I think this is quite helpful. Anything else? I mean, this is regarding all your technical things, but any other habits, skills that you kind of that kind of kept you going? Because with articleship, with CA, with CFA, how do you keep that momentum going and not risk a burnout or anything of that sort?
So I think I was pretty afraid when I was registering. I thought, okay, 1 month, 1.5 months would be enough. But when I saw the CFA books, that Schweser 4 books, I was like, कि नहीं ये तो नहीं होगा. But then slowly and steadily, from starting only, I kept around 10, 12 hours on the clock. And I mean, I was sitting and studying sincerely. So उसकी वजह से like maybe a little bit of fear कि नहीं होगा. So इसीलिए शायद. But then whatever keeps you going, like start studying and consistently, like because CFA में you can see the end. In CA it's like you cannot see the end. It's completely going on and on. So CFA में at least थोड़ा तो दिखता तो है. So and you complete some subjects per se. So it feels के like ठीक है चलो थोड़ा motivation भी आता है. So वो बहुत helpful भी होता है. And so you can complete your syllabus till say 15 days, 20 days. So that is really helpful. And वैसे तो थोड़ा बहुत देख के कि चलो at least I'm completed this many subjects. That will keep you going वैसे.
Okay, okay. Uh, and I mean, any other, so any other parting advice that you would like to give to aspiring CFA students also who are doing some professional course, maybe a CA, maybe a MBA or maybe a CMA? Any last parting words?
And so like I mean try to focus more on conceptual clarity and understand okay, what CFA Institute expects from you and try to focus more on that. So if you do that then maybe you'll be able to go right through it.
Okay. So I guess that should be it. Naman, thanks a lot for your time and wish you all the very best for your CA finals as well, which are upcoming. So keep that momentum going. You've got a good score. Keep that momentum going and wish you all the very best. And thanks a lot for sharing all the important tips and your study strategies with students.
Thank you so much, sir. It's all because of you, sir.
No, no,
The
no.
lectures were
All,
really helpful, so
all credit to your efforts and hard work. Thanks a lot.
thank you, sir.